welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about the Huda Beauty foundation as well as the primer. Also, I did want to add on here that you can only get these online at Huda Beauty or at Sephora. She does have a little blog post about how to find your perfect shade, and I will link that down below. And also, if you guys notice that I'm wearing a different shirt throughout this video and different cat ears and stuff like that, it's because I did film this throughout the day, and at one point my daughter spilled like chocolate milk all over me, so I had to change my shirt. So that's what's going on, but this was filmed in the same day. So I will show you. It is Monday, October 23rd. I wear these today and I let you know my final thoughts and how they wore on me throughout the day. So if you guys want to see how these apply and my thoughts on them, then go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so if you were ever wondering what I look like with only eyeshadow and no foundation or contour, this is what I would look like. Not the cutest thing ever, but that's the cutest thing ever. Can you see my little girl and her vanity? She thinks it's time to do makeup too. So I'm going to first apply the primer, and my friend here, Tawny Michelle, she did a review on this foundation as well, and I really liked what she did because she just put the primer on one half of her face so she could really get an idea of how the foundation wore with the product, if it made it better or whatever. I always wear a primer. The primer that I wear is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, so I thought I would do that on one side and the Huda Beauty primer on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So on my right side of my face, I'm going to be using the Backlight Priming Filter. My skin has been dry lately, which is kind of weird because I have never really had dry skin. Well, I did when I was like way younger, like when I first was like a teenager, like 12, 13, but it's just weird to me like when it feels dehydrated because I'm just not used to it. I love the way that this primer makes my foundation and my face look. I don't know if you can tell. It just makes my skin look really glowy. This primer said it's a moisturizing pre-makeup based skin smoothing effect with nourishing properties, and it extends makeup wear. I saw Huda talk about this a little bit, and she said that it does have a lot of good things for your skin, that it really can improve your skin texture, that there's a lot of really good ingredients in here. She also did say that she wanted it to be long wearing, but it to also feel moisturizing, and for it also to not be like that silicone-y primer feel. So I am really excited to try this. I kind of swatched it a tiny bit on the back of my hand. It is quite interesting because it is in a squeezy tube, but you open it up and it has a pump. Usually they do like one or the other, so it's interesting to me that they did do both, but I guess you can get a lot of product with this and squeeze it out at the end and you're not wasting product. But I do love that it has a pump. I really do love that about it. So I'm gonna do like a half a pump just because I'm only doing it to half of my face. And this is quite thick. It feels like a really thick moisturizer, which I'm not mad about. It feels a little sticky. I watched a review and someone said it smelled like Christmas, and that's exactly what it smells like. It smells like that scentsy, like Home Sweet Home or something like that. It's like a cinnamony smell to it, which is interesting. So next I am going to go ahead and put the foundation on. I got it in the color 220 Custard, and this said it was the exact same color as my Estee Lauder foundation that I wear, which is the NW2, which is kind of a little bit dark for me right now. I've been meaning to self-tan, but that is something I want to get to, and then hopefully my foundation will match better. This is quite a big bottle, like it looks huge. The plastic is pretty thick. It does come with 1.18 ounce, and most foundations are 1 ounce. So it has almost 20% more than it usually has. And it says that you can start with like one pump or even less and kind of build it up. I was expecting this packaging to be glass, and it's actually plastic, and that's fine. It's really pretty. It has like this spray paint sort of a look on the bottom. She did a really good job at creating a very unique packaging, but also having it be really sleek and classy. I was expecting this to be really heavy, and it really isn't at all. It's pretty light, so that's interesting. After watching the reviews, I just thought it would be like super heavy. Like, this is way more heavy because this is glass. But I am going to start with one pump, and that actually looks like my perfect shade. That actually might even be better than the one that I'm using from Estee Lauder, because if you look at my hand, it kind of looks just perfect for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dot that on my face. It feels interesting. It kind of feels whipped almost. And it is a very strong perfumey scent. And it does feel very full coverage. That is like my perfect shade. I don't know, does it look too yellow on camera? Because in real life that just blends into my skin perfectly. Huda, how'd you know? So it does feel very lightweight too, which is interesting. Usually most full coverage foundations aren't so lightweight. I am going to need more coverage. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation right here, and yeah, I just like a lot more coverage. I mean, it is really good coverage for just doing like half a pump. So I did a full pump now. I heard that this builds up really well, so I'm really excited to actually test that out. I'm just gonna put this in the places that I really want extra coverage. Oh, it smells so good. It's weird to put this, like something that smells like this, on your face, but it smells so good. I'm not used to doing my eyes first too, so kind of made a mess right there. It feels so lightweight. It feels a little tacky too, but I wonder if that will dry down. Does it feel tacky? Yeah, it feels tacky on both sides, so that doesn't have anything to do with the primer. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Before I put any concealer on or any powders or contours or anything, but it looks like it's pretty full coverage. It's covering all my hyperpigmentation, any redness, and anything like that. So let's do a wear test, you guys. Let me go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup so I look alive. I don't look like data face, and I'll show you what the foundation looks like after I set it with powder and whatnot, and then we will do a wear test. Okay, so excuse that weird shadow right there. I think that's from that window over there. Kind of weird, but anyways, this is what the foundation looks like now that I have the rest of my makeup on. I am noticing that this side of my face where I did apply the Huda Beauty foundation, it looks a lot smoother, where over here it is settling into my fine lines and it is accentuating my pores a little bit more. It looks a little more oily on this side. So that's what I've noticed so far. It's been on about an hour because it's taken me forever to get the rest of my makeup on and to get back on here because my kids are being really needy, as you can tell. My daughter wants me to hold her right now. This is what it looks like, and it's about 4 o'clock right now. I started putting it on at about 3 o'clock. So I will check in at the end of the day and show you guys how it has worn and what it looks like. Okay, so it is like 6 o'clock, so it has been like 3 hours, and okay, I zoomed you guys in a little bit. If you guys can see, I do find it settling into my pores, and I do find it like settling into my fine lines. It definitely does look better on the side that I applied the Huda Beauty primer. On this side, it is really settling into my fine lines, into my pores. It's kind of like breaking up. So it is kind of like rubbing off right there. I don't know. I didn't think I had oily skin, but maybe I do because I am finding that it's kind of settling in and really accentuating my pores, which is really weird. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm loving it so far. I am just so used to my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, and it kind of just looks smooth all day long. And the main thing I look for in a foundation is like, is it going to look good for the whole day, you know? So I don't know, I've heard so many good reviews about this foundation, but it really is kind of like aging me, so I don't know. I will go ahead and check back in a couple more hours and let you guys know what I think of it then. I mean, it is really lightweight. It does look like skin. It looks really natural, but it's also accentuating my fine lines and my pores, which is not what I want. So yeah, I'll check back in a few hours and let you know how it's doing at that point. Okay, so it is 8:37 right now. So I've had this foundation on for almost 6 hours, and I can already tell that this foundation is not for me. On this side of my face, it looks really kind of crumbly. It is sinking into my pores and making my pores look really large. This side of my face looks a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can tell in the video, but in person it looks really bad. It's like really sinking into any fine lines that I have, and I mean the side that I did have the Huda primer and not my luminous primer does look a little bit better, but it is like rubbing off around my nose, and this side of my nose is actually completely gone. It just looks really bad. Like, it just doesn't look good. I think it's more of a luminous foundation, maybe not so matte. So I think for people who have maybe more on the dry side of skin would do better with these types of foundations. I'm like combination to oily, but I don't really get super oily. Just when I wear like super luminous foundations, then I'll get a little bit oily by the end of the day. So I don't think it's really translating in the camera, because it looks good when I look in the camera, but in real life it looks kind of like a hot mess. It's just settling into all the wrong spots and just not looking good. Yeah, this isn't for me. I would much prefer to use my Estee Lauder foundation. I actually usually put my makeup on like in the morning, and sometimes I want it to last all day. I want it to look good when my husband gets home from work and not look like I'm a hot mess and all my makeup has melted off. I think I'll probably actually return it because it just didn't work for me. I probably will go ahead and try the primer with my Estee Lauder foundation and see if I like that, because I'm always looking for ways for my foundation to last longer. That's really key for me, and whereas this isn't a long-lasting foundation, then it's just really not worth it. It did leave a pretty finish at first, but it's just not worth my money to put something on that's not going to look great by the time my husband gets home, because part of the reason why I wear makeup is because he likes me with makeup on, and if I look nasty by the end of the day, then it's not even worth it. I say this is a fail for me, but I know so many people. My friend Tawny Michelle here on YouTube, she loved it. I know so many other people loved it. It must just be like my skin type that's not good with. Those are my final thoughts. I hope this helped you guys. I hope this wasn't too much of a downer. I just wanted to be completely honest with you guys and let you know my 100% thoughts, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please subscribe if you liked this video. I'll leave a little bubble in my face right here and you guys can click on it. I would love for you to be a part of my tribe, and don't forget, it's okay to be confident, it's okay to be real, and you are beautiful. See ya.